Hi everyone. So one of the projects I wanted to smash for August was a simple vintage woodlands paper collection from Simple Stories. I picked it up last November in a Black Friday mystery box, so to speak. It was assorted 6x8 paper pads for a really good price. So if you like 6x8 paper pads, look for this coming up maybe this Black Friday. Just keep Simple Stories on your list. I had made some of these, these notebooks, not this one, because I gave them all away. A friend of mine wanted some notebooks to give to the people she works with. She works at Yellowstone, and this natural paper collection was perfect for it. I had like 6 of them, and she needed 8, so I used some of this to round it off. So I had cut into this already, but still have some paper, but I made something a little different. So as you may know, I live, travel, and craft in my RV. I have a studio in my RV. There is a studio tour on my channel. I'll link that in the description box. But sometimes we do work camping, which is when you go to a park and you work in exchange for your rent. And we are doing that this year, and we're going to a couple of new parks. And the parks really just, they get new people in all the time. So, and they might get like 5 singles or couples or whatever it is every month. So they don't know what everybody's abilities are. So I made this just to show them at the park a couple of things that we've done in the past. And I thought I'd share it with you so you can see what kind of things you would do as a work camper, or it's a camp host. We do more maintenance hosting than camp hosting. Camp hosting is when you stay in the campground and you make sure the campsites are clean, you sell firewood if there's not a fire ban, and you're available for people to ask questions. And then some parks have like tags saying Joe Smith is coming in on Tuesday, and you put a tag in the campsite and you take it off when Joe Smith leaves. So that's camp hosting. And work camping is a little more construction maintenance. Well, let me show you. So my husband and I work as a team sometimes. Sometimes he works alone. Like right now, he's out cleaning up a garden that had a bunch of blackberry brambles and poison oak, and I'm staying away from that. So one of the things that I did was one campground was opening up a nature playground, so it was like logs for the kids to jump on and stones to climb on, and just all things made of nature. And so they needed a title for it, and I wood burned that into a big log slice. It was down in the southern part of Oregon, so I made that for the campground. Just a maintenance thing is we just went around and secured the fences. What was I doing when he was doing that? I guess I was bringing along the screws or something. I don't know. I was there to tell him where he needed to stabilize the fence. That was my job, I guess. Another thing that I did is one of the campgrounds was having other campground people coming in, and they needed cornhole boards. So my husband made the cornhole boards and I painted them. I painted it based off of locations in the park. For instance, there was this real pretty river going through the park, so I painted just sort of a look of that, just a painting of it. And that was when Oregon was celebrating their 100 years of state parks, and I added the location of that, and I think they gave those away to some of those parks. Another thing we did is there's a state park in the northern part of Oregon, and they have this, it was an old fort. Originally it was built for the Civil War, and then they added to it for World War I and World War II. And I think it was the only American place that was shot on during World War II. Now, it just ended up in the forest. They fired a cannon from the sea. Nothing happened, but they did put up this big battery, and they had this gun, and what this gun does is it rotates and it shoots over this big wall. Well, they were having a end of summer concert, and they had the band on top of the wall, and they wanted these guns to look good. You know, they were old and rusty, so our job was to clean it. I mean, like, there was shrubbery growing here and vines, and it just was a mess. So we cleaned up and painted all of the ironworks in the front of this battery. And it was sort of a cool thing. That was the before picture, and then that's the after picture. And there is the gun. I mean, it looks like a cannon, but it's a gun. So anyhow, that was something else we did, which was fun and interesting. Something that was tedious and boring, but had to be done, and it was a fun project, was there was a huge pothole in the park that everybody complained about, and they kept trying to fix, and finally my husband said, if you get me this, I'll fix it. Well, he said, I'll fix it, but I ended up helping. You had to cut a hole in the road, dig it out, and then he added what's called cold pack, and then he took a stomper thing, I don't know, to pack it down, and it got rid of the bump, and people were quite happy that that was done. We painted a restroom. I mean, that's not very exciting, but it looked really fabulous afterwards, and I heard they revamped the whole restroom this year, so we had a part of that. In a park in Vermont, has been painted. He painted a 120-year-old house as part of our camp hosting duties or work camping duties. And this is a well house. It used to be part of a mill house. And he painted that. He's standing on boards over a stream, which I wouldn't get over. Something I did was make some little tents that say Oregon State Park 100 years, just sort of as a giveaway for a meeting. Another thing we did is make a sign holder. And at this park we're at, we are doing lots of mowing, lots of weed whacking, lots of cutting down trees. Well, not cutting down trees, cutting branches off of trees so people don't run into them. Blowing off paths. I just worked in their historic not community garden, their heritage garden, that's what they call it, that's been planted with plants that have come from plants that were planted in the late 1800s. They just keep saving the seeds year after year. So I worked in that today, which was a fun thing, but I don't have pictures yet. So anyhow, I wanted to show you that cute little album. I used the Simple Stories, Simple Vintage Woodlands. I do not have a tutorial because I just put it together in like less than an hour because I needed something. So I got up at like 6 o'clock and had it ready for 8 o'clock for our meeting. So that is a couple of things that we did work camping, and I just thought I'd share with you what it is we do when we go to a park to camp. So if you have any questions, put it in the description box. Thank you so much for watching, and have a fabulous day.